All right, all you sportswear fans, we're finally bringing it into Project Runway tonight, but we're turning all of the balls into dresses. Tonight's episode is entitled Balls Out. Stick around to find out all about it with one of the contestants that competed in the challenge. Stick around to find out who it is.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, we're back. I guess you see who we've got in studio. We've got Char Glover. Yes. Current contestant on Project Runway All Stars, sat down with us tonight, watched the episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
And as always, you guys, we have the lovely Michelle Uberreste on our panel.
Hey guys.
Tell them where they can find you on the Instagram, web, Twitter, Facebook world, wherever you're doing it. Where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste, and my website is michelleuberreste.com.
And when they find you, Char?
You can wait a minute. You can find me over here first.
Yeah. There we go. You got it.
At Char Glover _ on Instagram, and at Char Glover everywhere else without the underscore.
So what was it like tonight watching yourself?
Well,
there's some slow-mo of you in the bouncy house. Your hair was flipping.
Honestly, it's so funny because when I found out what the challenge was and I saw the castle, of course, because in our mind, we're thinking the castle. We're thinking this big, grand castle. So when we get there and it's like a kid's castle.
There's so many castles on the edges of New York City.
My God. And out of all the days that I decide to wear a dress, so that was one of the first things I thought, like, how is this going to work with this dress? So,
well, when you walked into that bouncy house, were you thinking, am I going to be a lady or am I going to get the balls?
Well, honestly, when you chasing balls, I think being a lady goes out the door, number one. So no, I really wasn't thinking. I think I was still processing what the challenge was. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what kind of dress am I going to design? Should I go for the big balls, the small balls? So I think it was just really paying attention to my dress and trying to grab as many balls as possible.
Did you have in your head immediately a sense of what you were going to do, or were you going more for what looks like it has the most fabric, what looks like it has the coolest texture? What was or was it all just so fast too? You're just like, grab it all? Because that's what some people do.
Initially, I wanted to go for a pattern. So I was looking for the striped soccer balls and the polka dot stripe,
You mentioned that,
So that was my intention. So once we got further into the challenge and I tried to cut them up, it didn't go as planned. So I kind of went with plan B, and that was the goal. And here's the thing. Once I started cutting them open, I discovered the inside of the balls had the black where it kind of looked like textured leather.
That.
So thank God it worked out.
Totally did.
Yeah.
When you got out of there, was there anyone you were they're screwed? Like when you just looked at their bag and you're like, I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Well, I think what we were thinking was whoever had the biggest bag, we thought had the advantage because you're not thinking. We don't know how these balls are gonna act as far as trying to sew them or glue. As you see, glue ends up being a big thing this challenge. But we didn't know. I think in my mind and a couple of the other contestants, we were thinking whoever had the most balls had the advantage.
We'll get into the glue later because that seems to be at the very end. That was what is a designer? What's a seamstress? They were getting kind of
got a little shady.
The semantics of what it is to be a Project Runway designer. But as you guys all found out, this was an unconventional challenge this week, which a lot of designers like and a lot of designers don't like. Char?
Unconventional challenges are always challenging because it's something that you don't normally do. Like I don't normally sew on soccer balls, so you're using a side of your brain that you normally don't use. So
What was your unconventional challenge you had on Under the Gun?
We did a similar one. We had a beach challenge.
Okay.
So we had all these plastic floaty things, so it was similar.
Wow.
And then we had a vampire one where they had a bunch of Halloween stuff on the yard of Fidham at night.
Oh wow.
So I like unconventional. I mean, it is challenging, but I think it kind of pushes you to do something you're not comfortable with, and sometimes it comes up with some pretty awesome stuff, and I was really excited about this episode too.
What was your thoughts about Project Runway All Stars? Because you'd already seen the experience, you know what it's like. It's not exactly what happens in the house. It's cut down to tell a story. Were you apprehensive, or were you like, no, I want to do this? It's been a while. Show people the new you.
I had mixed emotions just because on my season it was such a roller coaster. Like it was more mental than anything. I really had to kind of hold it together and show restraint. So I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I felt like this time, like I'm gonna say something. Like, I was just like, I'm about to, So that was one of the things that I really had to think about. Like, do I feel like kind of, just holding back a little bit, or do I want to just go for it? So that was one of the things that I had to really, really consider going into it for the second time around.
How does that work? Do they reach out to you, or do they just tell everybody we're doing this? If any of you are interested, let us know.
No, they reach out.
They reach out to you. Very cool.
First they reached out before, and I was like, oh no. So the second time I was like, you know what? Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Fan favorite.
Yeah.
How do you like working with because you have your one season, and I feel like you kind of bond with those people. And then how did you like kind of starting completely over with a new group of people, and some of them you had already seen on TV? Did you like bond with anybody new, or like how did you think that experience was like exactly the same, or how did it differ? Or was there anybody like you were a fan of that you had to?
Well, I think coming in it, for this season, I'm a Project Runway watcher. So a lot of the designers I had already seen. So when I saw Edmund, I was excited to see him. Kimberly, I think, is an amazing designer. Yeah. Of course, Anthony, he did a great job on Single Ladies. He did the costuming for Single Ladies. So I was a fan. As soon as I saw him, I was like, listen, like, I love you. So it was really, really good to be able to meet them in person and, just bond with other designers that do the same thing that you do. So I was really excited, honestly.
But was that intimidating too?
You can't look at. I didn't even give myself a chance to do that. I'm like, you're worthy. I'm gonna be here. They're here. This is a competition. But I think also to be surrounded by designers that are so talented. That everybody, this is what they do. We're designers. Like, we're all here for the same reason. I think just that energy is really, what you get excited for. You don't really have time to be intimidated. It's like, you got to fake it. Even if you are, you got to be like, I'm good too, so.
I usually have my notebook here. I was like in a mad dash out of the house. It was the first time I've forgotten it. And I had written down all the designers and what season they were in. Were there any designers from your past season that were with you in All Stars?
Yes, Amanda.
So what was your dynamics with her? Were you happy to see her?
Yeah, I like Amanda. Amanda's super chill. Yeah.
So did you feel like you already automatically had a friend, or did you find other people in there that you like clicked with better?
I think, honestly, everybody pretty much got along good. Of course, some people you would kind of bond with a little bit more, but it was really good energy this season.
Except Helen.
I mean, he said it, I did. No, let me clear the air. Helen is cool. She's just, how can I say this? Helen's just interesting. That's the word that comes to mind. And that doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. She's just interesting, which I think creative people, we got a little quirk about us. So I just think Helen is just a little interesting. That's the word I want to use.
Honestly, I think that I don't think she means to like go out there and like,
She seems just pretty emotional.
But I think that she just doesn't have a handle on like how she appears, how she carries herself or says things that people just
it was very clear when she was like, I didn't want to basically like do everything else everyone else did.
Right, it was total shade, but like I don't think she saw it that way or meant it that way. It just really comes across that way.
I just love Anthony. His personality. I'm not really sure who my favorite. I was going for Merlene, but it doesn't seem like she can execute what she wants to do.
Yeah.
I like will always want to see hers finish, but Anthony is so funny. Do you have like a really funny Anthony moment?
I mean, just watch the season. That's naturally who he is. It's never a dull moment with him.
I liked it tonight when they were like trying to make her feel better about herself, kind of, and he was like, "You just being Helen."
Yeah, he's gonna have that finishing line. Go to Anthony. He's gonna bring it home, definitely.
And what about Candice? I've heard from crew that she was really rude to the crew on Project Runway. Have you had any reason to think that?
Not at all.
No.
I'm shocked
Super
to hear
nice?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm kind of speechless, honestly. Candice is really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice person. That's.
Well, maybe she treats you differently if you're on camera. I don't know.
I'm not touching that. Like, he is getting in the slippery water. I'm gonna back up from that.
All right, fine. The one thing
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about. What about them eyebrows on Joshua?
Whoa! I didn't listen. I didn't even notice. How about that? I was focused on the designs. I didn't even notice. Yeah,
I feel like he and I are gonna have an eyebrow off.
Oh, wow. Well, I need some tea, y'all. I need some water to sip or something. This is getting juicy early.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't want to put you on the spot, but getting into the challenge tonight, they had 5 minutes to grab as many balls from a bouncy house castle to create a gown that was like modern day princess inspired. And I was
don't know
really
what princesses would wear these.
I know. I was really loving Kenneth's look when he was like placing those footballs, but then what came down the runway looked completely different. We also had a guest judge tonight, country music star. Gosh, what's her name?
I don't know, but I
We're
didn't
not
like
here.
her.
Oh, you didn't like her.
She was really pedestrian with her comments.
You felt like it was a mall walker
Yeah.
window shopper.
Sorry.
All right. Well, actually, who was our first stop? The first stop we had was Char. You were our first on the runway, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Yikes.
Oh, and
There
hey,
you
I want to
are.
remind our viewers too that we do have the live chat open, so you can come
Yeah.
and ask us questions if you want to ask Char anything or make any comments. And we love Olga. Olga is always commenting, and she says, "You know you're addicted when you tell the IT guy that he has to fix your computer so you can watch Project Runway on Thursday nights."
We have some super devoted after show
Yeah.
fans. Olga's always in the
Hi,
chat.
Olga.
Yeah.
Be nice to me, Olga.
Yeah.
Guys, please be nice
Yeah,
to me.
Char's not gonna say anything nice. She's got the princess attitude
Well, no, I'm
tonight.
gonna be
very
honest.
polite.
No, I'll be honest. If I feel a way, I'll say it.
Okay, maybe we just
Fair.
hadn't found the right person. That
Yeah,
you,
talk about
you got
eyebrows.
feelings.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. But if you say something I feel, I'm definitely gonna,
Well, is it intimidating when you're the first to look up? I mean, I know it's a blind runway, but it feels like the way everyone in the crowd, like all the designers are looking at each other. I feel like the judges, if they really want to know, they can just look at all y'all standing out there and figure out who designed the dress.
Yeah.
But is it intimidating to be the first one on the runway?
Well, honestly, it's a little bit refreshing because then you get it out the way. Like,
Yeah.
okay, because you're holding your breath until your design comes
Right.
out. So I think once you see it, go and you the first thing you do, me personally, is I look at the judge's face to see some of the judges wear their emotion on their face and some just kind of have
I can never tell because of the editing. I'm never
Right.
quite sure because sometimes they'll be like, and then they're like, I just love that. So I can never quite sure what a judge is thinking
Yeah.
until they actually start talking about the outfit.
I think they mess with you sometimes too.
Yeah, it throws you off a little bit.
I feel like that'd be fun for Isaac. I bet he likes getting a kick out
yeah.
of pushing y'all's button.
Yeah.
Well, this is like a total rock and roll princess. Like leather ruffles, you got zipper. The way that it's all set out, you said that you weren't originally planning to make
all.
something like this. What were you originally planning to do?
This was a shock to me, just
Yeah.
like it's a shock to y'all, because like I said, initially I wanted to use the soccer balls. I wanted to use the outside of them. That's the inside of
Are you
them.
gonna do some crazy
I mean,
shoulders
I don't know
and
what
stuff?
but I just felt like the stripes and polka dots, that's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
aesthetic.
yeah, for
I
sure.
like patterns and print. So to me, that was like not a safe way to go, but it's true to who I am as a designer. So once I started trying to do it, it didn't go the right way. So now I have to go to plan B. So this was kind of like an afterthought, but then at the same time, it's like you still have to make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
I can still see your personality though
Okay.
in this. It's like you said, that rock and roll, and I think you have that kind of rock
Edgy,
and roll.
yeah.
Rock and remix, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
your brand?
Yes, yes,
So
Rock and
it's-
Remix guys with a plug, right?
It reminds. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Royals on E. It's like that. It's got Elizabeth Berkley, and Elizabeth Hurley, and Elizabeth Berkley's that girl from Showgirls. And it's just like a faux drama about like a royal family, and there's this one princess in the family that's like super rock and roll. I can totally see her wearing this. What were your thoughts about this dress?
Yeah, I liked it, and I love black. So, but you know what the thing is? Like normally, okay, I love black, but I hate to see it on the runway on Project Runway because you can never see the details and stuff. But
Yeah,
I
it
think
is hard.
this one I actually could because I see the little ruffles and the pieces sticking out, and I could see the texture on camera. So I think in this case it was a successful black outfit, which I think is kind of hard to do. They just, even when you put so much work into it, I feel like they always lose the
Yeah,
detail.
it gets
but
lost. It definitely
I could
gets
really
lost.
see
Yeah.
the shape of it and everything come through. And I like that addition of the zipper.
It was almost like a motorcycle feel,
Yeah.
motorcycle jacket, two-piece little
Yeah.
Yeah,
situation.
totally.
Yeah. So.
Well, we don't really get this chance often, but what do you think about your outfit? Looking at it now, like months and months later, what do you think?
It's almost like an argument. You ever had an argument when a person leaves, you're thinking like, I should have said that, and I should have said that. That's what this feels like. Now looking at it, it's like I should have.
What would you have changed?
Everything, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would have maybe made it a little longer. Maybe with sleeves. I would have added a little bit of color, like you said, so you could see the detailing a little more. Yeah, maybe did her hair different, like so many different things. Like, of course, and also everybody's harder on, you're always harder on yourself. So I just feel like it's a little safe, but at the same time.
Well, you were safe this week.
Yeah, but I just think a lot of times what I don't think the viewers understand is sometimes you're just trying to get through the challenge.
Something's done.
Yeah.
I
you
mean,
just-
honestly,
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
just send something down the runway because, some challenges are a little easier and you have a little leeway, but some you're doing it right at the wire. So I think with this one, they don't show that. That you're right at the wire. So to me, I'm proud that I had a finished garment, honestly.
Didn't have a naked girl.
Yeah, so.
And I think with the unconventional too, there's just so much work just taking the materials apart and trying to get them to a point where they're workable.
And then
so
you don't
you're
always
spending a lot
even-
more time.
Yeah,
then.
and you don't always even know if the glue gun's gonna work. Sometimes glue doesn't adhere
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
everything. So that's a challenge too. So
I think the top is so cool though. Like you could just sell that, like just
Thank you.
the little top, like as a vest, like a motorcycle
Yeah.
vest or a jacket, like you said. I think
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Well, not in regards to this challenge in general, but what do you feel about being safe? I mean, obviously there is some sense of, okay,
yeah.
Relief.
but yeah.
You know what? For some reason, I always land at the safe place. I'm either in the bottom or I'm safe. Like, I don't know what it is about, maybe I just haven't pushed through yet. I don't know what it is. But I think, as a designer, like for me, I'm at my best when I'm in my zone. Like when I have my music playing and I'm, Project
Totally
Runway
different
removes
environment, yeah.
everything. They
Some people
remove-
are fast.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you a fast or a slow sewer?
I would say I'm a fast sewer, but like I was saying, the thing with Project Runway is they remove everything that gives you
Right,
inspiration.
right.
So you're
sure.
not in the, and I don't know if the viewers get that. I think they'd be like, you should do this.
think by
You should be
now
like,
they
you,
get it.
This
You
is,
tried it,
yeah,
yeah.
this is not as easy as it seems.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably why I'm always safe because I'm like, let me kind of get my feel going first, so.
Well,
Olga mentioned too, the texture of it caught the light so it doesn't look like a flat.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And it definitely did have that leather look.
thank you.
Yeah.
I gave this 3 stars. Thought it
Okay.
was a good look. That's my middle of the road. What about
Yeah, I
you?
gave it 3 too. I always kind of judge everybody in comparison to each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I really have that
Yeah, but
habit.
we have
I
a
don't know if
Project
it's
Runway
good or
curve.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we
it's-
keep into account
Yeah.
that sometimes it's just so hard.
Yeah.
Right, and sometimes there's like a lot of terrible ones or a lot of good ones, and I kind of
Yeah.
grade them against each other instead of just like independently. So,
Okay.
so yeah,
We
I
don't
mean,
gotta
I-
defend ourselves to you. You're here for the tough stuff,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, it
Cool.
was safe, so I think we're
Yeah.
on par with
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
Yeah. Next up, we have got Amanda, which, oh my gosh.
that's-
Wait.
No, that is.
Oh, yeah, it was
That's
sent out.
Anthony.
Anthony.
We actually got sent out of order
I think we
tonight.
saved
So we're
Amanda
just
for
going to
last
go.
'cause
Yeah,
we
we're
just
just going
wanted
to
to
go with
avoid
this one.
it.
This is Anthony's, and I said just wow.
Yeah.
Just wow. I gave this 5 stars. I never ever do.
Oh,
this
wow.
looks, I mean, she looks a little like stiff standing right there, but walking down the runway, doing her thing, she just looked awesome. I couldn't believe he made that out
Yeah.
of that.
I wrote pleasantly surprised because
Oh.
when
That's
I
you.
saw him working in the workroom, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a mess, okay. And then you don't really see the process. You just see like a bunch of clown stuff, and then it comes out on the runway, and it's like very refined despite being rainbow colors and all of this, and I think Anthony's like really pulling this taste level because it is really hard to impress me with rainbow colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I'm not a rainbow fan, but
And
I wrote
love-
just wow.
I
just
love
wow.
he used the little fluffy like jellyfish
Has a
balls.
little accent, yeah.
I'm just like, that's
Very
just
like Miley Cyrus,
Yeah.
kind of like wild princess
But
who does
it's
what
not
she
in
wants.
the cheesy way,
Yeah.
like, hi, I put them on my nipples or something, you know, like Miley Cyrus,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
vulgar.
yeah.
It's just like very subtle, but it still makes it like exciting. Like it's not just a fabric dress. And I think it was very
playful,
strategic. Yes,
for sure.
definitely. I gave it a 4. 'cause
yeah.
You know I don't do 5s.
Yeah, maybe you've given one once or
have
twice.
one in mind.
Well, what
but-
did you think about it?
I love the color placement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he placed the colors at the right place. I think to make it like a little cocktail dress. I love it. I think it looks fresh and fresh and not too youthful, but just fresh. That's the word I would use. It looks
It's
fresh.
fun, but it's not like kooky and
Yeah.
Right.
I can see a girl wearing that, I can definitely see
Yeah,
someone rocking it at
it
a party.
looks like
and,
it's an actual dress.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
looks like
very
it's from
good.
like a high fashion designer,
I
which
love
is
it.
so hard to do with what they gave you.
Oh my God. The beach balls.
And I feel like for a lot of these looks, there's like a good version and a bad version.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's the good one for me.
Yikes.
Yeah, we'll see that bad version in a little bit. Next, we've got Kimberly coming up. Should be. Yeah, there she is.
Super cute.
For me, I thought this was so juniors. I think it was maybe the color palette, but I did like the zipper detailing in the middle. But it just didn't really seem wearable at all to me.
Really?
I mean, I know right now like plastic over everything is in, but I own a bunch of that stuff. I own those plastic Converse. I got plastic moto jackets. That stuff turns yellow in a month. So for me, I don't know. That doesn't ever really win me over because I always think, well, what's that gonna look like after the second or third time you wear it? But I don't know. I mean, they are working with plastic balls.
Right.
And it's
These would just-
unconventional, so
right.
she's not going to wear that.
I don't know. It's just kind of junior's department to me.
Okay.
It does look a little Barbie. Yeah. When it first came out and it was kind of like close up, I was like, wow, because you could see all of the detail and the work and it was like incredible. And the skirt was like moving and fluffing as she was walking. But then from far away, I'm like, yeah, it just does kind of look basic, but you just lose all the work I know that she put into it,
It's hard to photograph something that shiny too.
Well,
I
don't think, not necessarily. I just think for all the work she put into it, it doesn't look that impressive as a whole, Like she made it look effortless, but it's not.
Explain it to us, sure.
Well, I think I think for her to make the U-turn that she did, she started off with the cotton balls, and then take that, scrap that idea, and come up with this fresh new idea. I thought it looked good, and as she stated, it has movement. Her and Stanley's, their two designs were two of the ones that had movement.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good choice for what she had.
The cotton
material.
balls. Yeah.
Definitely better than the cotton.
I didn't. I liked the idea of using them. Maybe it was a trick. I don't know. I think that maybe that could have been done. Maybe like on the cuff of a coat or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm glad she didn't go.
Smart enough to use it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't go with that. That seemed like a way better route to go. I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah, I did too.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it did look like it was a lot of work. Next up.
How are you laughing before it even comes up?
No, well, I'm just laughing because I know how she acted tonight. This is Helens Dress. It's like a paneled blue, neon yellow, plastic wrap, like that stuff the mom wraps up the peanut butter and jelly sandwich in like little blue cellophane. Yeah, and we saw she spent the majority of her time making like a legitimate fabric, but I kind of feel about this the way Georgina felt about Amanda's outfit. I felt like this was not hugging in the right places. Like just because of the fabric you're working with, things looked kind of sticky. And I wrote down college finals runway show. Michelle?
I don't know what to say about this because at first I loved it. And the more I looked at it, the less I loved it.
You did like it when it came out.
I really
I
did.
was just like, what's
I
wrong
think
with
I like
you?
the waist up because from the waist up it looks
It
really
does.
precise.
You're right. You're right.
And clean, and I love the kind of blue metallic fabric, and I love the way that she mixed kind of the matte and the shiny with just a little bit of yellow and stuff. But then I feel like the skirt, she ran out of time, so she's like, gotta sew this together. I don't want to glue anything.
There's a seam
I
in the
can't
middle.
live with myself if I glue something.
Yeah.
So So I think if she would have had more time, like if this was made out of leather, you know, like this is could be a high-end, like amazing dress. And yeah, there's a basic silhouette, but you can tell like this is couture technique, you know.
There was this seam that went kind of like, I guess what you would say, like the bustier or whatever, where it met like this pencil skirt, and it seemed like everything from that seam down
The
was a
whole
little
skirt was
whack.
like puckery and crinkly, and
It was kind of hard to do tight with curves and fabric, like with that, with walking. I don't know. What about you, Char?
I just think that you have to give credit to creativity. I think one thing that Helen always says is, "I'm a good seamstress. I'm a good tailor." Okay, that's fine.
But she was
you
going
still...
by her own rule book, which is not your rule book.
Well, since it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like, to me, that's the problem that I have with her. You know, that's fine that you can sew good. We give you credit for that. But at the end of the day, you still have to have creativity. Like the judges said, it was boring. So that's my take on this design. I feel like she did do a good job with the texture, the way she put the colors together. That looks beautiful. You know, to mix the yellow and had like the pop of yellow in there
I
with the
didn't
blue.
hate the color combo at all.
I just felt it lacked creativity.
I liked kind of how it kind of looked like modern art to me.
Okay.
That's why I liked it. But yeah, we've seen it before. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about glue?
I don't have a
In the
problem with
competition.
glue because if we
either.
weren't supposed to use it, they wouldn't have gave it to us.
Right.
So why not? If you use something someone gave you, that's what you're supposed to do. So I felt like if you decide to sew, that's your choice. Don't knock the people that decided to use glue. It was an option.
Well, I think some of the most successful winners of unconventional challenges had no choice but to use glue.
Yeah.
Like I remember Kelly on her season, she won it, and she had cut up this like aluminum pipe or something. There's no way you can sew
Or you've got
that.
gumballs you're cutting in
Right?
half.
How are you gonna sew
Yeah.
that? Like you can't, I think it limits your creativity. Like
She was so adamant, like in her confessional about it, and even in front of you guys a little bit about like, no glue, oh no glue, and everybody seemed like they were kind of like,
yeah.
Well, maybe she should have used glue. You know,
oh, that's what I'm looking for.
I mean, I don't know if that's shady, but I mean, if they're saying that it was a little boring, maybe adding glue you could have done something maybe that you wouldn't normally do.
Right,
Right,
maybe
it's limiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe glue something over those little wonky little seams. Next up, I gave that 2 stars just because she did put so much effort into it. But
I gave it 3.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and I see the vision of it. Yeah.
We've got one up that I know you thought took a long time and a lot of work, which is Edmund's outfit.
Yeah.
I wrote Wonder Woman is melting.
Oh.
Michelle, I'd rather you go with this. Can you describe this to our podcast viewers?
Okay, well, this is one of the examples of 2 kind of competing looks. We'll see the better one later. It's kind of like gold volleyballs that he cut up and kind of just glued into sort of a flattering shape, but there's just a lot of body showing. It's really revealing.
I also get like Princess Leia, Jabba the Hutt vibes.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a warrior woman, and then he paired
The
it with
warrior sandals.
he paired it with the gladiator sandals. The side cutouts are just kind of slutty to me. It's just too much.
I want to reinforce the word princess, which I don't think
Anyone?
a lot of people really caught on with. Like some things we're going to get to some more revealing stuff. Like some things are a lot of skin.
There was a lot of skin tonight, yeah.
Well, since I was there, one of the things that I know for sure is that we didn't have enough, balls.
Material.
We didn't. It wasn't enough material. And we saw that early on.
Mm-hmm.
So you just had to work with what you had. The princess theme went out the door. Once we got back and saw the balls, we're like, okay, this isn't working. This princess has to be a different kind of princess. I don't know if the princess of the night. I don't know what kind of princess she
Well,
on.
I think our next look, we'll go into that. I think our next person did a really good job of that. But Edmund, I absolutely hated this. I hated this. 1 star. 1 star.
Oh,
I gave it 2. I didn't
No.
hate it, and especially when it first came out from farther away, I liked it more. It looked more organic, but up close, it looks a little more like a hot mess.
I want to dip a chip in it.
Ooh.
And eat it. Like
Yikes.
liquid gold.
That's funny.
All right, well, let's go on.
Olga says she could be the princess of Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally see that.
Yeah. This one, I think, meets all the requirements. Like, you could see, well, I don't know, Kate Middleton. It's very Jackie O looking. But, like, it's got the Kate Middleton cut, you know? It's long enough to be on a princess. But super inventive. I don't like to use this word, but I'd say it's a little innovative.
Yeah.
And I'm not the hugest Stanley fan, but I really, really liked this. I gave him 4 stars. It's like
wow.
Jackie O meets like a water park mermaid.
Yeah, she looks like a goldfish.
What do you think?
Yeah, I really loved it. I think the length for me is a little problematic, and I don't know if it's just because of the shoes, but I want it to be shorter or longer. But the fact
Just
that
a little bit.
yeah, just used all the scales, but not only just used the yellow, but he put in a little orange and a little pink, and it made it like so vibrant and had so much depth to it. And then the little vest, you kind of notice after, it just kind of frames the dress so nicely. And then I didn't even notice till they did the close-up that he's also got detail around the vest using some other type of
Those
yellow.
little bubbles. That's even on the shoes. He's got little
Yes.
bubbles on the shoes.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I was just so happy though that I have such high hopes for him, and we kept saying like basic stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
Stanley, this is so, like, this is what I wanted him to always make.
What were you thinking as you watched it? Or were you not paying much attention to everyone else?
No, I actually
You're
was
like, I
working.
keep an eye on everything.
Exactly. I'm peeping everybody out. No, I was actually working next to Stanley.
Okay.
He did a really good job, and I think that I was surprised, honestly, because when we're in a workroom, we can't see everything. And in the back of my mind, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, Stanley has a lot of work to do. So once it was finished and it came out on the runway, I was like, wow, he nailed it. Like, I love, of course, the bubble on the shoe, which was an afterthought. It was so funny because he was almost finished. He was like, wait a minute. I guess like a light bulb went off, and he went and put the,
The
put
judges
the bubble on
love
the shoe.
that crap.
Yeah, he did a really, really good job. I was really happy for Stanley with this look.
Next up, we've got one that I don't think was a great job. We got Joshua, and this is what I was talking about. Some semblance of princess or dignity or something. This
Did you
reminds
say
me of like when,
dignity?
this reminds me of when my grandmother was like trying to teach me how to like sew like a button on something, and I was like practicing on a little piece of white paper and just like sewing other paper together. It's vulgar.
It is vulgar. I gave it like a 3 though, because I think if you would have lined it, this would be amazing. I really like the lacing.
You'd aligned it.
And I think it's
With what?
ergonomic, it's flattering. Well, just with something, even muslin.
I was about to say it'd have to be Muslim.
But I think like the design is really striking. So
I feel like there has to be some credit given to a designer that can look at those like baseballs?
yeah.
To look at a baseball, to cut it open, to find, I don't even know where he found the threading to be able to stitch those two together, to make it look like a turtleneck. Like, I thought this was very innovative.
Really? Yeah.
I thought it was fresh when I saw him. Because, well, actually, him and Stanley were working close to me. I went up to him in the process of us, making our design. I was like, hey, that is gorgeous. Because my brain doesn't even work like that. So for him to think of that and to execute it in that way, I just thought it was amazing. And on top of that, he was strategic enough to get enough of those balls, which means that he thought about this early on.
Yeah.
So I just feel like some credit has to be given, for him to be that innovative in a challenge like this. So I thought he knocked it out the park.
Yeah. I think
You
it's
get it out the park with the balls.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? Yes.
You were made for this after show. I get what you're saying, and I think I wouldn't have had a problem with it if it had stopped it like right at the waist. The bottom to make it that short and to look like that, I don't know.
Okay.
I like the top. What do you think, Michelle?
Like I said, you could even make this into a gown if you had enough fabric or whatever. If he would have done like a long skirt, and it could be really cool. Like, I think the silhouette is really powerful and the colors and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this look. 5. He gets a 5.
Ah!
I love it.
You love it. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even ask you to do stars because some of our designers don't like to do it
I
because
don't mind. I'll give him 5.
Okay.
The ones that I don't want to give a 5, like a high one, I'll be like, pass, next.
You guys, Olga in the live chat says it's baby's first bondage outfit.
Olga, wait a minute.
She's
I
killing
like
it
that.
today.
Olga is awesome.
Next up, we have the designer that went home tonight, and I think this is for the best because she had a rough one last week, and this did not do anything to save her. So, as you said, a bad version of Anthony's dress.
Yeah.
Saggy bottom.
Wait a minute.
Or what did Georgina Chapman say? Saggy ass? Saggy ass? Saggy
Yeah,
bottom.
this is like a straight clown costume that's not even like constructed.
Very
well.
deflated.
Yeah. I didn't, and then when they came down the runway, somebody said, "Oh, it's so Candice," and I was like, "Really?"
Yeah, because even she said, I'm not a rainbow girl, and she does not look like a rainbow girl.
Even just the silhouette, it just doesn't look like Candice at all to me.
Did you think this was a losing look, or no? I won't ask you who it was, but do you think this was a
Who
losing
did I
look?
think was going to lose this? Well, I definitely thought she was in trouble
Yeah.
because even during the workroom, she was kind of panicking a little bit, like, wait a minute,
Right,
this isn't
right,
going
right.
the way that I wanted to. So I kind of knew early on that she was going to have trouble this challenge. But I think she did the best that she could, you know, with the materials that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
yeah.
also, as she said, it was hard. Like, she couldn't sew it. So everything she did, she had to hand stitch. So
That takes a while.
yeah, and then it's hard on your hands. Like, you try stitching a
Yeah.
yoga ball. That's not easy.
You know, I already told you I can't sew. All I
Yeah,
can do is
that's not
sew
easy.
a label on a
But early on,
jacket.
she knew this fabric wasn't working, and she kept trying to manipulate it, Like, just try
Yeah,
something
she should have
else.
cut it. She should have let it go before.
But see, here's the
Change.
thing, though. We're limited with material. Everybody is
change-
already in
but
their
change
design.
your technique or
Okay,
something,
that's
you know,
true.
because she kept
That's
trying to
true.
do the same thing and force it, and it kept ripping, and it's like,
That's true.
it's not going to not
We
rip.
see
if you do
sometimes it works best for people when they turn it completely the wrong way.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, we got to get through these really quick because we want to talk about what you're up to now.
Okay.
We got Fabio up now. I thought this one was a little rough around the edges. Everyone liked it.
I don't know what your problem
thought
is.
it looked like he ran out of gold fabric. I didn't like those little bits of black. They just didn't look like they were placed right. But you liked it. The judges liked it.
Obsessed.
You loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I give it a 5.
When they looked up
Innovative.
in it really close, the edges weren't. You know how
It's
I
made out of a
am.
volleyball.
I know, but
And
I
it's
want
almost,
it.
I mean, the silhouette is wearable.
But I'm a
You know?
princess. I want it made perfect.
Oh, okay.
But this is just, to me, all the little shapes are
I
so
agree.
perfect. The little fringe at the bottom. I love the addition of the black because it gives it
Agree.
more, I don't know, it just makes it more interesting instead of being so flat. And then the black zipper on the back and just the shapes of everything placed
Very well
perfectly.
thought out.
So
Well,
fierce.
There's no
Yes.
fighting with y'all about it. I gave it a 2. Y'all gave it a
Yes,
5.
Fabio, you get a 5 from me. I loved it.
Yeah, you're a big fan of Fabio's
Yeah.
work.
I was
love
really
Fabio.
like surprised by this too because he always kind of does these oversized, like modern,
Mm-hmm.
kind of hippie, almost modern hippie, like clothing. And to me, this was like totally out of the box for him.
Yeah.
But he nailed it.
Next up, we've got Ken. And this, I don't know, because I had told you guys I was so looking forward to see this football thing. I always wanted to see like a Mary-Kate shoulder, you know, like real big. Like I was wanting to see like fun with volume on this. But this is totally different than what, you know, like we were saying earlier, you see like just little bits of fabric and then you see a complete dress. This, I wasn't expecting this at all. I mean, it looks like a normal dress, so I guess that's good. A little melted vinyl-y for me, but then again, I wouldn't get to stand up really close to it and look at it. But it did look high fashion.
I loved it. I gave it a 4. It looked so complete and concise and just everything about it was perfect. The proportions and the addition of the flower. I love the texture on the dress. But I always hate it when in an unconventional challenge you use the stuff as a fabric because that's like a no-no. So otherwise,
Well,
I would have given them a 5.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Did you have strong feelings about this?
I loved it. I thought it looked beautiful on her skin, the
Oh,
color.
yeah.
you
She's
know.
a great model.
Yeah, I think the color pops. I love how he gave her a different hairstyle. If you noticed, he kind of gave her the exaggerated bangs.
Yeah.
I love how he created the small embellishment on the side, like the little flower he created with the
Right.
striking open back. Thought
Did
he did a
make
great
that
job.
Yeah.
flower thing?
Yes.
Oh, now I'm even
Yeah,
more.
see? With different textiles from, the
I'm-
balls
You
that
want to
we
give
got.
him an extra star?
I want to give him. I'm not gonna do a 5 because it's still just a textile, but I'll do a 4.5.
I love it. Great job, Ken.
Serious.
And now
Yeah.
we've got Merlene, who I've really been pulling for in this competition, and she did all right today. I don't really know what I think about this dress, so I gave it a 3 because I
Yeah.
just don't have really an opinion at all. But I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it. It was just very gumball machine.
Oh yeah.
No?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. I gave it a 2 because I kind of didn't know what to think either. Like, it's not. It is a little clowny, but it's not horrible. Like I could see this on
It's
a
like
runway.
Lisa Frank couture.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like thoughtful. It's not just a bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like Candice is like put together. Like you can see how the colors flow from one to another, and there's volume added. And I think this, like her construction, was actually executed much better than she has
Much
been.
better, yeah. I think
showing.
I could see this in like a Vogue, like beach,
Oh,
like
yeah.
silly.
Editorial,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah, very
Or like a
editorial.
big bucket of flowers or something.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
the way that she cut the sleeves out too. If you look at it, the silhouette of the sleeves by the neck is really, really clean and sharp.
Yeah,
I really
think
like
the scoop
that.
was fun
yes,
too, and
I
a
really,
good
really like
idea.
that. Even the cut of the hem is a little interesting.
Yeah.
The split with the the longer hem in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last up, you guys, we have Amanda. I gave this 0 stars until I saw the back of the dress.
Okay.
And that was so cool. It got like Margarita Alvarez vibes for that. If you're watching out there, Margarita. But all those little spiky, they were part of the
I
fabric.
liked that
It looked like
part.
so many Goudos and Skittles.
I thought
I
that
don't
was-
know.
I thought she was thoughtful with the placement of that. I thought,
I thought that was the best part, was like the little studs that she cut
Yeah.
out. Everything. This is kind of like a weird space hippie. Oh, it was very unfortunate. I don't
know where she was
I
understand.
think the
going.
styling didn't help though. I think that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
maybe took away from
Made
it a
it-
little
it's just
bit. The
wacky.
hair and then
Yeah.
the busy sandal, I think, kind of took away a little bit. But
I wrote, this model deflated the slip and
Oh
slide.
yeah. Yeah.
you're bad. You're
No,
so
I
bad.
I also just think it doesn't look like Amanda. Like I wouldn't pick this out of a
That
lineup and be like,
totally
yeah.
looks like Amanda to me.
Really?
You don't.
I don't.
because psychedelic. That is
Right,
her.
I get that, but
like I feel
it's
like
usually
that's
more muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
She is-
interesting split. Amanda
Yeah,
always
yeah,
does
yeah,
a nice
yeah.
split or open little peekaboo somewhere. So
But like her finale collection that she did your season to me was so tasteful and amazing, and like I wanted all those pieces, and this
Okay.
to me is so far removed from that.
Well, it's been a couple of years too. As
Yeah.
designers, we change. Maybe she's getting
It's
a little
Yeah.
bit more
true.
risky.
Yeah.
You do
know?
change,
And then
yeah.
if she would have did kind of gave you that, the first thing we would have said is she's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
So-
you're
That
right,
old
you're
tired
right.
way
There
she
you go.
works.
So, good
but I just
job,
think-
Amanda. Stretch yourself.
It's true, but I just don't think this one was successful. Like
This-
I didn't see her evolving. I just
Okay.
saw like, ooh, this was just unfortunate. She had a hard
How many
time.
stars did you give this?
I gave it a 1 because she did put a lot of effort, but it's
Yeah, that's-
really just
yeah.
not attractive.
What did you think about the back? You
I
okay with
didn't-
it or
I
no?
mean,
Not really.
I don't know what everybody was.
You didn't like that puffy,
I really like the
fringy
little
thing?
studs.
Yeah. Well, enough about Amanda. Let's talk about you for a few minutes before we get out of
all
here.
right, yes.
What have you been up to ever since the show ended? We don't know who the winner is, and we
No,
don't want
we
to.
don't.
You don't
No,
want to
no,
give it
no.
away.
No,
But
no, no.
aside from your Project Runway life, what you been
Okay.
up to?
Well, I recently moved to LA. It's been not recent because it's been 2 years. December 1st made 2 years. So I'm now in LA. I'm building my brand, Rockin' Remix.
Yeah.
Working on
I think
a
we
design
grabbed
studio.
a couple of photos.
Yeah, so
if
just
we've got
Yeah, I
them.
did. And where's your website? Like, where can they buy your clothes? Stores or-
www.rockinremix.com.
When was the last? Have you released a collection anytime lately, or what?
Yes, I actually what was it? March. I did El Paseo Fashion Week with Michael Costello. So that was really, really nice. I did my
Oh,
spring
that
summer
was probably
collection.
really
Great
fun.
experience.
Yeah.
So did that. We had a trunk show, was able to meet some amazing people.
Nice.
So I've really just been being busy, staying consistent, and just growing my brand. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, have you got plans for a new collection? And what's the theme?
You know what? For some reason, I'm like anti-collection now. I don't know what it is. I'm more or less like, I really want to get my pieces to the consumers. Like, I'm really trying to touch, and build my brand. That's really what my focus is.
You're more about the piece.
There's really like 52 seasons a year now.
Yeah, because once you do that, then you can free yourself up to say, hey, now I want to sit back and do collections. But you have to be a working designer. So I'm working on...
It's hard to compete with fast
taking
fashion,
care of the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to drop out while you got us?
Well, just check me out on social media. Follow me. I'm always dropping, new little stuff and new pieces.
You can find you. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at Char Glover on Instagram, at Char Glover on Facebook. RockandRemix.com is where you can buy my designs and come and say hi. Yeah.
Michelle, where can everybody find you on the interwebs?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste, and my website is MichelleUberreste.com.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you, Char.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we might see you for the Project Runway All Stars finale with us here at AfterBuzz.
Let's do it.
That
I'm
might
with
be
it.
fun.
I'm with
All right, you guys. So keep an eye out. As always, I'm Michael Shirley, and you can catch me online at Michael X Shirley. But until then, we'll see you next week. Have a fun and safe night, you guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.